Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the Korean StarCraft League, week number 49. I'm, of course, Showside VIP, and with me, I'm joined by these amazing players, the people in the chat, and my plushies as well. As always, welcome to another KSL, and we already have our first match. We already have our first series as spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Site Delta. We have our South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, currently teamless, deserving to be on a team. The blue Protoss player, it is Nightmare. Here we go. Of course, both Nightmare and Cure qualifying and being a part of the next season of GSL. They both have made it through, and Nightmare has been popping off as of late. We've seen Nightmare take down some big Terran faces, players like Oliveira, players like Clem, players like Bjorn as well. Nightmare has been popping off. So this is going to be a bit of an interesting one here. Of course, Cure is going to be coming in as the favorite player. He's one of the best Terrans in the world, but Nightmare is no slouch. Not in this matchup. Let's go. Again, the bracket may be small, but the quality is definitely there. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. Again, we only have around 12 or so players, which is unfortunate that the bracket is as small as it is. But regardless, we have some amazing players. We have Nightmare, we have Cure, we have Creator, we have Classic, we have Hero, and we have Dark. We have our usual suspects. We're missing a couple. For those that are curious, typically we are lacking Terran players in KSL. It is known that players like Gumiho, players like Cure, Bjorn, Maru, they like to sleep in. They're a little bit degen, you know, they wake up, 3, 4, 5 p.m. They've expressed that in the past. Instead, we have our regular showcasing of players here that do wake up earlier in the morning. I believe it is around midday. It's around 11 a.m. or noon in Korea. On a Saturday. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. And here we go. Again, for now, it's going to be a Rax Expand sub. It was a single gas opener out of Cure, so an economic opener overall. Nothing too crazy from the side of Cure. Meanwhile, Nightmare across the map going for a Gate Expand into the Cyber Core. Gate Cyber Expand, even. Going for Say the Build himself. When it comes to today's broadcast, we're going to be covering, of course, KSL and having a couple of hours break in between our next broadcast later on tonight is going to be WTL. World Team League did return last night. World Team League Code S returned last night. We had a banger of a night. We had some amazing games, some amazing matches, and that continues tonight and tomorrow. 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 3 days straight of WTL every single week for 11 weeks straight until we get into the playoffs. So 11 weeks of WTL. I say that WTL might go on hiatus a week or two when it comes to DreamHack. When DreamHack comes around, usually WTL will either take a break or they will host their weeklies during the week. They will host their rounds during the week instead of over the weekend, just to accommodate for things like DreamHack Dallas, for events like GSL as well, if the GSL finals come around, for example. So WTL, they are willing to be flexible like that when it comes to major events. That's going to be later on in the evening. Until then, we're going to be easing our way into this. It's going to be a Stargate opener from Nightmare. Stargate into Phoenix's. Phoenix production has commenced here as we move out across the map. And because the economic opener of Cure, we shouldn't be able to punish this or really threaten Nightmare. We should be able to ease our way into the mid game. Meanwhile, the Reaper does dip in. Reaper, did actually scout earlier, by the way. As we knock ourselves over the wall, we do get eyes on the Phoenix production on the starport. Cure is fully aware of what's going on. Even going to be threatening the middle line as well, but they have to say shut down the Reaper. Good defense here from Nightmare, but we got the scout off, and Cure, he's getting ready with his Cyclone. A very safe follow-up here out of Cure. Marines, they can hold their own, but Marines are not very mobile, especially without stim this early on in the game. So we have a Cyclone to help prepare to help defend against those would-be Phoenixes. Interesting, going for a 2-1-1, by the way. That is a Rax before Starport. A very aggressive build here, getting into our 2-1-1, soon to be a 3-1-1 setup here. Very bio-heavy style, and again, this is ideal against Stargate openers. The reason why is we don't need factory production, we don't need tanks. Tanks would be necessary and required if we were up against Blink, but because it's Stargate, we can go straight into Stim a lot faster than normal. So we can just rush our way into Stim into a bio-heavy composition. For now, Nightmare is going to have map control. For now, Nightmare is containing Cure, but once Stim kicks in, Cure can move out, he can start pushing, and he can look to expand and take a third CC. Meanwhile, as Nightmare has map control, we're going for the tried and true Phoenix Colossus. Bay is on the way, Robo's done, Colossus production is going to be on the horizon. Very standard, very meta for the past couple of years, for quite a long time now. Phoenix Colossus has been the staple of PvT. And that is what Nightmare is going to be embracing. Interesting, we're going for a safety immortal. There are players that do skip this immortal, but Nightmare is going to be making it just in case there's an earlier push, just so he has an army to work with before he gets into his Colossus production. And meanwhile, across the map, we do have Cure getting ready for his drop. Stim is now done, or it's finishing up in a couple of seconds. It will be done by the time the drop gets across the map. Now, as Cure as he moves out, Phoenixes move in, but the Cyclones, they're ready back at home. Again, this is the power of the Cyclone. They have their place here in TVP. Nowadays, with the nerf to the Cyclone, we're not amassing Cyclones, but they're a really good early game unit to defend against things like Phoenixes. There we go, the ground army is moving out, is spotted by the Observer, but this isn't a real threat. This is really just distracting Nightmare, keeping his attention here across the map while the drop slips in. Nightmare diving in between the bases, picking up a couple of Marines here and there, but where is the main army? Where's the rest of this? In the main base, we boost on and we force a recall. Phoenixes, they rush back home. The Widow Mines are powering, overcharge is popped. We can focus down the shield battery. And can we get some Phoenixes? Widowmine gets focused out. We get one Phoenix, 4 probes. And this drop is getting out of hand. 5 workers go down, but the Colossus comes out just in time, and Nightmare, he will defend. Now, as he cleans this up, and he will shut down these medevacs, by the way. We have the secondary army moving out towards the third base, but Nightmare is in position. Very good movement here. Nightmare, to keep his Immortal and those Adepts here at the third base, was ready for the main push. Medevac did get shut down. And all in all, this was a very good defense by Nightmare. Yes, he may have lost the Phoenix, he may have lost 5 probes, that is true, but he killed 2 full medevacs. 2 full medevacs, and he's able to keep up with this army, and he can collapse on this. He shuts down the Marauders, big pickoffs. Marauders are going down, we're forced to drop into the main base. This is going to be a one-way trip, no way out of the main. And I'm not so certain we're going to get much done. Marines are going for the mineral line once again. Shield battery's buying time. Colossus has arrived, and yeah, we shut down the drops. Another Phoenix does fall. Good target firing at a Cure. Oh, does get another Phoenix. We're down to 3. And good micro here from Nightmare, able to pull back. It does focus on that medevac, but we get 12 probe kills. Very nicely done here by Cure to target fire as many probes as he could. And we're not done. We're moving out once again. Now, Cure has to be careful. This last drop did well. 12 worker kills, that is not insignificant. But we have to be careful not to throw away too much too quickly, because that will trigger a counterattack. And Cure, he's not really building up much of an army back at home. Again, he's got everything in his drops. Behind this, we throw down additional Raxes. We do have a third CC, thankfully. Going to be landed on location, and Cure backs up. Does retreat. Does pull back, getting his third base up and running, which means Nightmare, he has room to breathe. There's room to breathe. We're getting up to 3 Colossi. 2 are done. Third is about to pop out. Gateway explosion on the way. Charge. A +1 is delayed, as the Forge is just now on the way for Nightmare, so that is an advantage that Cure has. A pretty big upgrade advantage here for Cure. So Nightmare is moving out. Bearing in mind as well that because of Cure's target firing, we have lost a lot of Phoenixes. And with that, it's going to be a little bit more difficult here to keep up with drop play, to deal with these Vikings. We're back up to 3 Colossi. Lion Shot gets baited out. Nightmare rotating around, threatening those, well, that natural. Leading out 2 more Stalkers. Some rough losses there. Without those Stalkers, don't have that much anti-air. Nightmare has to back off. He has to respect those Vikings. Again, we have 2 Phoenixes, only, I think, two Stalkers as well. Mainly Zealots. And we want to commit. We're pushing into all these Marauders, pushing into all these Widow Mines. Not going to be easy. We go for the mineral line instead. Get a worker. We get 2 Widow Mines as well. Good swipes with the Colossi. Behind this, yeah, we're reinforcing with Stalkers. We have Archons to support as well. Another Phoenix goes down. Yeah, we're shutting down every single Phoenix. But now we do have a little bit more anti-air. We're pushing forward, zoning away those Vikings. Boys, they have to be pulled. And again, pulling into Archons, nothing you ever want to, well, not something you ever want to see. Nightmare holding his own. Behind this, he's taking a fourth base. He's transitioning into disruptors. He hasn't lost a Colossus yet, but he's been dancing with the army. And Cure, he's only really been bleeding out a couple of Wind Mines, a couple of Marines here and there. The Marauder army is still solid for Cure, and he hasn't lost any Vikings. This army is becoming quite terrifying. And Nightmare, yeah, he's backing off. Backing off for now. Prism slipping into the main. Yeah, Zella drop even a warp in into the main base. SV is going to be going down. Would you force a reaction? A couple units have to force or have to be pulled back. Nightmare pushing in. Cure is in position. Yeah, Nightmare, he doesn't find any ground here at the third. But the Zealots, they managed to get the Ghost Academy. Not bad. 5 SCVs. Ghost Academy's going to be going down, but we chase down the Colossi, and there's no saving it. We get one. One Colossus goes down, but there are disruptors on the way. Second Robo as well. Cure forcing Nightmare all the way back. And now Nightmare, he has lost map control, but he has disruptors back at home. He should be able to defend against this. As long as we don't throw away these disruptors, as long as we hold on to those Novas, we don't waste them, we should be okay. Meanwhile, the Prism gets another warp in. But it's going to get cleaned up. A rough trade there for Nightmare. Cure shutting this down. Behind this, we have a forced CC on the way. Third base is fully operational. And the Ghost Academy, was it dealt with? No, it finished. Ghost Academy did complete. And Ghosts are now on the way. Cure, soon to be maxing out. We're going to push in towards that third. Now, Cure has a big window here. A big window where he could try to break Nightmare. But again, he's pushing into disruptors. It's not going to be easy. As that is 5 disruptors. Here we go. We go for a triple jump towards the natural. The main army towards the third. Ooh, Nightmare being pulled out of position. Decent Nova's going to be going off. But again, he drags everything over. These bases are exposed. Zealots will clean this up. Colossi trying to keep up here towards the right-hand side. We clean up at least some of these Marauders. But we collapse on the Nexus. And that's going to be a kill on the 4th base. Not enough anti-air either. The Vikings going ham. We have the overcharge. Just barely. Nightmare, he forces back the main army, but he loses the 4th. Big pickoff. And again, Nightmare out of position. Now he's going to try and chase this down. Cure did bleed out a lot of his supply. And Nightmare, he has to counterattack. He has to move out. The army pretty heavily stimmed. Ghosts have arrived. We have EMPs. That's still a lot of disruptors. We're up to 6 disruptors. EMP on the disruptors at least. Catch the medevacs. 4th base on the way. Disruptor's going to be leading the charge. Oh. We have 5 Novas left. See Nightmare rotating towards the 4th base. Curie keeps up. Did scan. Did spot the army. Nightmare, where are we headed? We're going for that 4th. Curie's got a concave. He's got EMPs. Nightmare looking for the army. Moves out with his Zealots. Zealot run right towards the natural as well. And Cure, it's going to be his turn to be out of position, by the way. We're at the 4th base, and Nightmare pushes towards the natural. But we are here in time. We have enough. Nightmare doesn't like it. He backs off. Got a lot of posturing going on. The Colossi turn back around. Interesting. Colossi go back home. Nova's going to be going up. Up! Good connection. Marauder's going to be going down. Not bleeding out any disruptors yet. But Nightmare may have to recall as Cure. He wants to collapse in. Scan does reveal the army. Cure pushing out. We see Nightmare double expanding, getting his 4th and his 5th. Up! EP connects. But as you can see here again, pushing into disruptors is not the easiest thing to do. And there's that recall. And Nightmare, he was caught out in the open. Does recall away. Nightmare, he's maxed out. So is Cure. 3-3 is a couple of seconds off, by the way. We need a little bit more time. Will we catch out the Ghosts? 2 Ghosts go down. Big pickoffs and Cure out of position. Yeah, caught off guard. Bleeding out a lot of units. Once again, another Ghost goes down. That's going to be 4 dead Ghosts. We did land some EMPs, but Cure, he was not ready for a fight. He had half his army out on the right-hand side. The Vikings weren't ready. The Marauders weren't ready. It was a nice little fight for Nightmare. Kira still moving out with his 2 armies. He's getting caught. Maestro going off, but we bleed out Medivacs. Cure, he has to turn back around. Only half his army. Everything else does come back home. Disruptors lead the charge. Again, remember, this Observer doing so well for Nightmare, seeing this army rotate time and time again. And yeah, Curie moves out. I believe recall's on cooldown. Oh, never goes off. He's zoning back the army, and that's going to be a kill on the planetary. A massive Nova's going to be connecting. Cure, he loses the base. At the same time, though, he's going for a base trade. Going for the 3rd and the 4th. Does EMP, no recall. And we're going for a base trade. Honestly, in a head-on fight, I want to favor Nightmare, so I feel like this is a wise choice here for Cure. It's his way to win this. Takes down 2 bases. Nightmare gets another. CC is going to go down. One more volley. Up! Up! Oh, it barely does fall. And now we're pushing into the natural. Likewise, so it's Cure. Gets the Robos. Big pickups. Robos are going down. Novas go up. Look at the army sizes here. We have 7 Disruptors, 2 Colossi. That's 19 Marauders. The problem here is that Cure's army split up. He has half his army across the map, the other half back at home. And Nightmare has everything together. And he saves his probes. He has a backup base on the way. Next side going down. The problem here is that I believe Cure doesn't have any SCVs out on the map. Uh-oh. This is everything he has. His last remaining buildings. And Nightmare is making his way in. At the same time, Cure, he's being followed. It does get the scan off. Does have an orbital. And he's coming back home. Cure's turning back around, and we need him back home. But Nightmare already pushing in. Cure second guessing himself. He turns back around. He's going for the main. Does catch probes, but he doesn't know there's another base. Like, killing the main base of Nightmare, it's not that important. Not anymore. You see Cure trying to evacuate. It does lift. Still has his army here in the back line. Buying time. Being very careful. Does catch a couple of free Zealots. Very nicely done. A lot of Zealots going down for free. Good pick off there by Cure. It looked like Nightmare assumed that Cure had left. That was a lot of Zealots. Never goes up. Ooh, big connection. And once again, grazing the army. Meanwhile, Cure, he gets a kill on the main base. He's floating away. We have a lot of stack defense. We leave the Archons back home. Nightmare, he just has to poke in. There's no pressure on Nightmare to really pull the trigger. Up. Ooh, getting a ghost. Does manage to get a ghost, and all Nightmare has to do is defend this base. We have the scan. Cure, he sees the mining base. Ay, ay, ay. Nightmare can't sustain himself. Yeah, Cure, he's evacuating. Bleeding under the ghost. Cure gets the hell out of there, and he's coming back. He's turning around. Now, Nightmare has to be careful not to be caught out. You can see he's rotating most of his army towards that main base. He's leaving some Stalkers in the main. But Curie's consolidating his army. Bringing everything together. And Nightmare, he's now just consolidating his forces as well. Nightmare does have the supply lead, the army supply lead. Again, a lot of these Stalkers still not quite in position. We're going to be fighting without them. They're coming in just in time. Cure trying to get a flank off. And Nightmare, he does make it. Nova's going to be going off. Massive connections. Oh, and with that, Cure's army melts. There's no pushing into this. GG gets called, and Nightmare takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Bobby. GG, well played. Nightmare looking strong here in this game number 1. Again, we did mention that Nightmare, he's been on fire in PvT, taking down Clem, taking down Beyond, taking down Oliveira. Nightmare has been on point here, and there was nothing too fancy about this game either. It was pretty straight up. We had a very standard opener. Getting into the mid game, we saw Nightmare and Cure dancing back and forth. There was a lot of positional play. Throughout that game, and Nightmare, he was for the most part able to keep up with the drop play, keep up with the movement of Cure, and shut him down. GG. Very, very solid game there. A very fun back and forth, I should say. Both players had their moments, and Nightmare does take a lead, but I would not be surprised if this goes to the ace match. Like, I'm expecting an ace match here between these two players. That's why we chose this match as our starting series. I want us to go the distance. I want us to go all the way to game 3, but here we go. The pressure is on our Terran player, because spawning in the top left-hand corner of Amphion. It's been a while since I've casted on Amphion, not gonna lie. It's been a couple of days. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Liquid, down in this series. He needs to fight back here and now. It is Cure. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing himself, currently teamless, but deserving to be on a team. It is Nightmare. Here we go. Yeah, Nightmare needs one more win, one more game here to advance on into the semifinals. Cure, the pressure is on to fight back here and now to force that ace match. Let's go. I see in the chat, oh, time zones, 11 p.m. But in Korea, crazy time difference, crazy. Here it's 1:30 p.m. 1:30 p.m. or 1:30 in the afternoon. Because of daylight savings, we're only 1 hour off from Korea. That's the good thing, I guess. One of the few things esports wise it's good about living in Australia is we're right next to the Korean time zone. So watching something like GSL is quite easy. We're able to cast Korean events as well. But here we go. We are settling on in. Once again, economic opener. Once again, it's going to be a single gas opener out of Cure, going for a Rax expand. So standard play here from Cure. Nightmare going for his own next or gate expand into Cybercore as well. Now again, it's been a while. Amphion has been vetoed quite heavily. I swear it's been like almost a week since I've casted on Amphion. It's crazy, despite how much we cast. And I appreciate that we're here. Amphion is an interesting map. Because of the mineral lines, because of the mineral walls and these rocks as well, it is quite safe to expand and take a third towards the left-hand side from either player. Likewise, you can even use this to launch forward and take the hybrid base in the center of the map as well. I'm curious who's going to be the first to expand in this area, this location. What I will say is that in this matchup, because of drop play, it might be risky for Nightmare to expand here, because this is closer by air and does allow Cure to be a little bit more active as we're going for a ninja base. Oh my god! Going for a Rax expand into CC, not just before Starport, but that is a CC before Factory, before second Rax. This is a very greedy build here from Cure. Wild, crazy. But because of how large this map is, like Amphion, we're mainly focused on the left-hand side of the map. We're mainly focused here on expanding towards the triangular third, pushing towards the center. These fringe bases, they are often forgotten about, and I think it's quite smart actually to go for a ninja base at such a time. Risky move, but the chances of Nightmare scouting this is quite low. Now, Nightmare may not scout this anytime soon, but can he still punish Cure nonetheless? Nightmare, he's going for a Twilight Council opener. We have one gateway done, second gateway's on the way. So far, it's 2-gate blink. If we go 4-gate blink, Cure's going to be in trouble. Behind this, Cure going for a 3-Rax follow-up. 3-Rax, all off of 1 gas, by the way. Very greedy build. Delay on the Factory, delay on the Starport. We're going for a mass bio follow-up. Of course, delayed because of the CC. If Nightmare was assertive, if Nightmare was aggressive, then Cure would be punished, but I think Nightmare's just going to go for a 2-gate blink into a third. And safety shield batteries on the way. Nightmare trying to get a read on what's going on. Does see the marine production. Okay, we do have a 3rd gateway on the way. 3rd gateway here, so this is very safe from Nightmare. This will keep him safe against any earlier push. We can see that there is no early push coming. Nightmare can be a little bit aggressive with this. He can move out with a Warp Prism. not going to have as many weapons available as he would with 4-gate blink, though. And again, this setup here is quite defendable. We have a ramp coming into the natural, which is more of a... which isn't quite too common in the new map pool. Ramps at the natural. You have the wall off here towards the left-hand side. Like, yeah, Kiri's pretty secure. It's pretty damn secure here. And he's going to get away with this. The ninja base, it's up and running. Nightmare, yep, it's 3-gate blink into a 3rd Nexus. Going for a Bay, going for Colossi. We're getting into the mid-game. We're getting into a macro game, which is the ideal for Cure. Is going to be the ideal. As you see Nightmare blinking in towards that natural, we are waiting in position with Marines, with plenty of Marauders. Cure does hold. Nightmare pulling back. And again, at this point, like, again, Curie's gone away with this. He's gone away with the greed with that 3rd CC. Getting into the rest of his bio production, and now going for an add-on swap for Medivacs to soon be active on the map. We'll see if Nightmare can keep up. Cure is pushing. Likewise, Nightmare behind in the economy because of the faster 3rd CC. Now we have a 4th on the way before Nightmare, by the way, which is crazy. And Nightmare still doesn't know, and he's not gonna know. And the game may end with Nightmare never scouting the space, by the way. That's possible. It's very possible. Something interesting is that Cure has not main arted over. To make sure that he stays hidden, he's just been producing SCVs here, muling, of course, specifically in this location. Has already paid for itself. Yeah, not getting fully saturated. Now we main art over. Gases are being taken. Cure pushing out. He has map control. He's up in army supply. This, again, this is a very unique scenario where the Terran is already up in workers and supply, despite nothing really happening. Like this space, allowing him to snowball out of control. And it is going to be more of an uphill battle for Nightmare. We'll see if he can keep up. We do have a drop moving out towards the left-hand side. Charge is done. Charge is done. Nightmare going to try and get some counter damage done. Cure getting his 4th up and running. Meanwhile, with our 3 Colossus setup, Nightmare should be able to defend against any kind of bio push for now. For the time being. And we have plenty at home to defend. The Zealot drop does nothing. Cure rotating over towards the right-hand side. We can see Nightmare attempting to take his own 4th, but he's going to be denied. I mean, the Colossi are here, though. Do you force Cure back? Oh! Don't quite get the medevac. Medevac does survive. Nightmare could soon expand. Oh, the medevac! Oh, we do get it. Nice little pick off there for Nightmare. Cure pulling back, reinforcing his army. Does reinforce. We have Vikings amassing a +1 air attack, 2-2 on the way as well. And Cure's about to max out. That's what's terrifying here. As Nightmare is expanding, taking a 4th, we have Cure taking a 5th, and Cure, he's about to reach that 200 supply. Now, there is a chance that Nightmare can hold here. A lot of this is going to rely on his disruptors. Like, if we can get the juiciest Novas possible, like that money shot Nova, if we can get it, 2 of them, maybe even 3 of them, then Nightmare can hold, he can survive. The other plus side for Nightmare is that Kira's going for a split push. He's not consolidating his army. He's not bringing everything together. He's up in army supply, but here we go. He does catch the disruptors. No! Both of them will go down. The Novas, they will not connect. Massive pickoffs. At the same time, on the right-hand side, he runs into the main army. Nova's going off once again, and once again they get targeted down. 4 disruptors go down without a single Nova. I spoke about the money shop. This is the exact opposite. As Cure not able to break through the overcharge. We have to respect it. Cure is being forced back. The Colossi putting in a lot of work. The Zealots as well. Cure being forced back on both sides. But Nightmare has to be careful to overextend. We cannot chase this down. And Nightmare, he has to back off. Reinforcing with Zealots, though. Does reinforce. We get the EMP, but Cure is being forced back. At the same time, Nightmare pushing in towards that 4th base. Slips into the mineral line. SCVs are going down. Cure out of position. And Nightmare, he gets a mineral line. He's evening up the economy. At the same time, though, Cure, he's going for the Nexus. And we force a recall. We don't recall to the 4th base. The Warpin is denied. And the Nexus is going to be going down. And Kiri's maintaining his supply. Going for a Doom drop towards the main base. It was a good move here for Nightmare to kill a mineral line, but again, that more than anything was able to help even up the economy. Kira's still ahead. He's already remaxed. He's going for the Colossi. Trying to target them down. Do we have an overcharge? We do. One Colossus falls, so will the other. The overcharge is not good enough. The Colossus do get cleaned up. But we have the rest of the army. And thankfully for Nightmare, there was no split push. There was no split push from Cure. Nightmare shuts down. The drop did bleed out 2 Colossi, though. But he's rebuilt his disruptors. Again, we can still bring this back. We can still connect with those Novas. Cure, he's looking for the Observer. Hallucination comes across those drops. And we're going for a base trade. Drop is moving out. Nightmare's pushing in. And it's only half the army. Only half the army here for Cure. Oh! Mine just abated out. Yeah, Nightmare, he's committed. I'm getting deja vu was just like game number 1. Or very similar even. Going for the base trade. We eviscerate the mineral line. Zealots at the 4th. Zealots at the natural. But this time Cure, he's on top of the main base already. Denying +2. Can Nightmare push in? This is getting close. Remember, Cure only fighting with half his army. Force field gets thrown down. Yeah, Cure, his army's getting picked apart. We clean up the Marines, we clean up the Marauders. We deny +2 ship weapons. Cure, meanwhile, his drop still being active. Nightmare pushing in. Cure once again going for a drop, but he's running out of medevacs. And +3. +3 is going to be denied. Cure going for the 5th. We'll get a kill here. Also going for the backup 4th. And Nightmare, we recall. We're recalling back home now. Checking the vision, Nightmare, he doesn't know. He still hasn't seen top right, and he hasn't seen center right either. Looking at the vision, Nightmare, he believes that Cure's on 1 base. When Cure's on anything but, he's going for the Nexus. Overcharge, not good enough either. The base goes down. Nightmare is down to 1 Nexus. Actually down to 1 base. And Cure, he has mining. He has an economy. He's on 2 bases. Drop is getting caught out. Oh, we can catch these medevacs. Every single medevac, actually. Big pick off there by Nightmare. There's still 2 more drops here towards the left-hand side. And yeah, Nightmare, like, not scouting, not realizing this base, it's killing him. It's the ninja base is winning Cure this game. Cure, his production's back up and running. A little bit supply block, but is producing once again. Now, when it comes to the quality of the army, bearing in mind, if we look at the units tab here, there's only 1 ghost. There's only 1 ghost and it's in the drop. It's not with the main army. There are no Vikings. So composition-wise, I need to favor Nightmare here. Like, I do think that Nightmare has the stronger army, but here he's going to be able to overwhelm with the quantity here of Marine Marauder. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic. As you have Curie's freely mining, we see Nightmare long distance mining, trying to take another base. Nightmare moving out with the Zealots. And with these scouts, he's only moving out towards the center. He's not checking across the map. There we go. The Observer comes in. He's now aware of this base. 2 more CCs on the way. He's aware of the center base at least. The army's coming in. We're going for a split push. Oof. We have a Doom Drop on the left-hand side. We have a push on the right. We do have an army here at the natural for Nightmare. He has split up his forces. Shows the Novas. Oh! First Nova goes off. Gets a Marauder. Gets a Widowmine. Not bad. Good control here at the Nightmare. Shuts down the Widowmine as well. He's able to keep up. At the same time, here comes that Doom Drop. Again, Nightmare is close by. No shield battery in the main base. Bear that in mind. No overcharge. No disruptors either. Protecting the main, I mean. And the drop comes in. Nightmare, he is going to be able to respond. Gateways are being depowered. Colossi going ham. With all these Archons, we should be able to hold our own. But a snipe on the Temple Archives. At the same time, this Colossus is exposed. No! It's exposed. 1 Colossus goes down. Big pick off. Very nice pick off there by Cure. But his Doom Drop is being cleaned up. Ooh. We shut down a lot of those medevacs. These disruptors they're wild. Where are we going? This is crazy. Nightmare trying to flank the army. Very risky. I hope this isn't miscontrol here. As here we go. The Novas are being kept safe. Curie sees the Novas. They go off. The trap. Massive connections, but it looks like we will lose those disruptors. Blink Stalkers, they dive in. Disruptors are focused down. All 3 of them go down. Was that worth it? Ooh, as we clean up the entire army. All the medevacs go down. Nightmare, for the first time in a long time, takes a supply lead. And he never even knew about this base. Never even knew, Papi. Oh my god. Doom Drop once again. As there's nothing at home to defend, by the way, because of the Doom Drop across the map. And we can always recall. +3 attack, it's going to be denied once again. As we're pushing in towards the main. We have Disruptors to defend back at home. And Nightmare, he's running away with this. I was expecting an ace match, not going to lie. But Nightmare, he has an overwhelming army here in the main. Cure, he has a handful of bio units here. But against the splash damage of Nightmare, it's not going to be enough. And you can see he's running a team. Nova did connect. Massive Nova's going to be going off. Oh god. Yeah, we cleaned up the drop. At the same time, Nightmare forcing his way into the main. Does finally come across the base on the top right, denying any kind of mining. Good EMP. Good EMP from Cure. But Nightmare, he overwhelms. GG gets called, and Nightmare will take the 2-0, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. Papi. GG, well played. Congratulations here. Nightmare will take the series. Will take down Cure. Cure being one of the best Terran players in the world. And again, if you've been watching Nightmare, you would know that his TVP is insane. He's a very fast player, and again, he's able to keep up with the movement there of Cure. What I will say is Cure had a massive lead. He had a massive lead this game. He was always up in armor supply. He was so quick to max out multiple times in this game. Unfortunately for Cure, he never brought everything together. Like, despite maxing out a couple of times, he never went for one big move out, one big push. He was constantly going for split pushes, constantly going for drop play. That allowed Nightmare to deal with these smaller segments of his army. And sure, Nightmare, he was losing bases, he was losing some production here and there, but he was able to keep up nonetheless, thanks to the fact that Again, the army was kind of fragmented for Cure. It was a little bit easier for Nightmare to deal with. On top of that, there were multiple times where Nightmare was able to push in as Cure was dropping, or as like his army was in transit. So he wasn't able to like make use of his army either in those moments. So very fortunate there for Nightmare. Also, very good unit control as well. We saw some big Novas. We saw some crucial force fields as well to once again be able to just cut up that army, deal with it one portion at a time. GG. GG, well played. Whew. And Nightmare will advance on to the semifinals, and we have our semis ready and waiting? Question mark? I'm a little bit confused by what's happening in the... yeah, on the bracket. I'm a little bit confused as to what's happening in the bracket. Exclamation mark B. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. What I'm referring to here is it looks like the score wasn't inputted correctly. You can see here we have some updates. We'll start from the top. We'll start from the very top and we'll work our way down to what's been happening here. In the top, we have Rebellion taking down Triple 2-0. Rebellion is up against Hero in a PvP. It's going to be a spicy PvP at that. Scrolling down, we have Classic versus Creator. Classic takes down Creator 2-0. Classic waiting for the winner of Hero and Rebellion in the upper semifinals. Scrolling down, we have Honmono taking down High. And we have Dark versus Honmono 2-10. A 2-10 win for Honmono, question mark. I think that's meant to be a 2-0. I believe that's supposed to be a 2-0 in favor of Dark. I think someone accidentally put a 1 in front of the 0 of Honmono. So a bit of a misreport there. We're trying to clear things up and figure out what the score actually was. But I believe it is, yeah, you have confirmation. It is Dark 2-0ing Honmono. It's Dark versus Nightmare in the lower semifinals. Really, Honmono popping off, Poppy. 10 wins in like 20 minutes. Crazy. So Vitas are on the way, and we will be diving into that lower semifinals as soon as we are ready. Just setting up the matches, setting up the players. Beautiful. And I should probably message like Chicken Man or Dave Testa that the score needs to be updated. Where are we? Heads up. Dark 2-0. Yeah, just messaging our lovely admins, and I'm sure they'll fix up the bracket momentarily. Meanwhile, lobby's been made, Vitas are done. Dark versus Nightmare is coming up next. Gonna be cracked to win 10 in a 3-game series. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Homeowner's a Zerg. Homeowner's a Terran. He's a Terran player. But I'm catching up in the chats. Catching up. Great defense and control from Nightmare. It was very impressive. Very impressive defense there from Nightmare. Able to accurately and correctly split up his army, keep up and defend. Keep up and defend, and yeah, we're gonna be jumping into that series momentarily. Oh, we're gonna be joined by even the Korean caster. Let's go! And you can hear the beeps. We're diving into game 1 on Oceanborn. Go. Here we go, spawning in the bottom. Oh, should let them know. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn in a fresh best-of-3 in our first semifinals of the night, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg representing Talon Esports. It is Dark. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Blue Protoss player representing himself, currently teamless but deserving to be on a team. He just 2-0'd Cure. It is Nightmare. Here we go. Oh, my apologies. And if you're in the chat, predictions, baby. Predictions, they will soon be open. So you can place your bets on who you believe is going to be the first to advance on to the grand finals. Will it be our Protoss or our Zerg? It is going to be up to you to decide. Un momento, papi, un momento. Just trying to sort out those predictions. Match predictions. And my finals. Best of 3. Dark or Nightmare. Beautiful. Predictions are open as we speak, so place your bets. You have 2 minutes. 2 minutes to get your gamba going in the chat. Predictions. Predictions. Open. Here we go. So we do see Dark going for his own proxy hatch across the map. Now he's not going to be committing to a proxy hatch. He is going to be just delaying the economy here of Nightmare. This will eventually be cancelled, but again, it's a very delayed expansion, forcing out a Zealot as well, delaying everything here from Nightmare, forcing some lost mining time as well. As there is that cancel. From here, Dark should be going for the main base, but Nightmare has already taken the second gas geyser. There is no gas steal available for Dark, as Dark is happily droning and taking his third base. So a nice cheeky start here from Dark. Just throwing a wrench in the opener of Nightmare. Behind this again was a hatch gas pull. Standard opener from Dark. Actually going for a delayed spawning pull actually. But is settling in. Catching up with the chat. Who is SC2 Rebellion in the chats? Korean Protoss. Been competing for years. Used to be called Gilsing. See in chat, who's Rebellion? Rebellion is a Korean Protoss player. He's been competing for a very, very long time. I think Rebellion debuted back in 2014. Oh my god. 2014, actually maybe 2015-ish. 2015, 2016 era of StarCraft, around then. But he used to be called Gyelzing, if you recall that name. And he name changed to Rebellion at the start of COVID, so around 2020. 2020-ish, he did rename to Rebellion. He is a Korean Protoss. Are you sure it's not wheezing or coughing? That's awful. that's a stretch, papi. He's not a Pokemon. Ay, ay, ay. Esther Jeff. Shaking my head. Shaking my head. As we do see again, Dark just settling into a 3-base setup. We're droning on up. You must have him confused with Vanya, papi. Vanya. AKA Wayne, AKA Radita. Shaking my head. As Nightmare is going for Stargate opener, we have Oracles moving out across the map. Gonna be dreading that main base. Queens are keeping up though. Dark, we have 2 queens at the third, 2 queens in the main. The natural is a little bit more exposed, but the Spore is about to finish up, and the Oracle gets no damage done. Dark, he does keep up. Behind this, Nightmare taking his third, and we should be transitioning into our Twilight Council, into our Forge, into our follow-up. As the first Oracle is joined by the second. Diving in towards that third. So far going to be forced back. Dark is zoning away those Oracles. Unfortunately for Nightmare, there's no Adepts in conjunction with this, so there's nothing to really pull Dark apart. The Adepts are kept at home. Third Oracle's moving out, and Nightmare, he's transitioning into his Forge and Twilight Council, getting ready for his Blink and +1 for the minigame. But Nightmare has been slowed down. This third base is quite late for Nightmare, and a big reason why I couldn't afford those Adepts earlier is because of the delayed natural. So Nightmare stumbling his way into the mid game. Oracles, they commit. They go for the queen. They get one. One queen goes down. Can we get another? It's going to be close. It looks like we do not. We barely do get that second queen. A pick offs there by Nightmare. Does pull back. Taking some hull damage, but well, worth it overall. Keeping the Oracles alive. Dark will be joining up, saturating on 3 bases. 4th is on the way. And interesting, Dark has not thrown down a Roach Warren. Lair is about to finish up. No Roach Warren in sight. This could just be Ling Bane into Ultra from Dark, or it could be Ling Bane into Hydra. Regardless, Dark is going to be making use of that Lair. If we take all of our gases, it could even be Spire play as well, as all 6 gases have been taken. And it is not a Spire, it is the Hydra Den. So Ling Bane Hydra from Dark. And this can work wonders against Blink Stalkers. And thankfully for Dark, it is Blink that's on the way, not Charge. So solid setup here from Dark, going Ling Bane Hydra. This can lead into Lurker play later on down the line as well. And there's going to be a window. There's going to be a window here where Dark only has Ling to defend. So Nightmare can try to apply some pressure. Does push forward. Gonna get some tumors. Dark double expanding, getting a 4th and a 5th. As Nightmare moves out, Dark, he does move in with his Ling run by. No shield battery. Uh-oh. No shield battery, but he doesn't commit. Doesn't push in. Dark rotating back around. Just keeping this army busy. Behind this, we have 10 Hydras on the way. Not just that, we have second Evo Chamber, Infestation Pit, working towards Hive Tech, and eventually those Lurkers. Dark is looking comfortable. Very comfortable here. So we see Dark rotating back around. Colossus production has commenced for Nightmare. We have second Robo on the way. He's getting ready for double Colossus. And basically, Nightmare is going to be stuck at home. He should be taking a 4th. We should be seeing a 4th base, and we should be turtling up, getting up to 2 and then 4 Colossi. The Colossi will help immensely against this army of Dark. The problem is that Dark is already working on the Lurker Den. Colossi, they work wonders against Ling Bane Hydra, but this is soon going to turn into Ling Bane Hydra Lurker. And Lurkers, they will change things. Not just that, Hive is on the way for Viper production as well. Dark is 1 step ahead when it comes to the tech. Stalkers are moving in. 4th base is on the way, but the 4th is exposed. And here come the Lings. And Stalkers are out of position. We collapse on the Nexus. We have the Colossus, but it's not going to be enough. The base is going to be cancelled. Cancelled just in time. Dark does bleed out some Hydras, so Nightmare is able to get that at least, but he's still contained to 3 bases. That Lurker Den is finishing. Is about to finish. Dark behind this, going to be able to mass up his Lurker counts. Hive is finishing up as well for the Lurker upgrades for the Vipers as well. Dark, he already spotted the Colossi, so he knows that he needs to prioritize this tech transition. There it is. 5 Lurkers on the way. 2 Vipers in production as well. And the problem is that I'm sure Nightmare doesn't want to move out not until he gets a critical mass of Colossi. We're going to surround. Stalkers are caught out. Blink is used and we catch the Stalkers. We force the recall. And so many Stalkers go down. Nightmare caught with his pants down. Behind this, we are up to 3 Colossi. That's not bad. But we bled out so many Stalkers there. Brutal loss for Nightmare. Rock get knocked down. Lurker range is on the way. Vipers are amassing, gathering up energy. Lurkers are pushing in. And Nightmare has to be so careful with how he engages. If he does overextend with his Colossi, then the Vipers will abduct them and they will go down immediately. These Colossi are so fragile. And here come the yoinks! Up! And we barely get one. 1 Colossus will go down. Never mind, we do get away. Nightmare. He shaved off a lot of Lings, by the way. Dark was committed. So many Lings went down. The Lurkers are trying to reposition. The Colossi stand strong. 1 Viper gets picked up. Good snipe there by Nightmare. Very nicely done. Gets another Lurker. Forced to throw down the Blinding Clouds. The Lurkers are going down. Nightmare, can he break through? It's getting close. He is. And lurkers are falling one after the other. There is not enough buffer here, not enough Ling Hydra. The Colossi, they barely break through, and we have to keep pushing. We cannot turn around. Another lurker falls. We have 3 left. And Nightmare, he backs off. He's going for the kill, going for the hatchery. Hatchery goes down again. This fight was so close. It was so tense. Nightmare barely keeping his Colossi alive, barely sniping, not just the lurkers, but the Vipers as well. And Dark, he's in trouble. Dark is suddenly in a lot of trouble. Again, that first fight was brutal for Dark. Throwing away so many Lings. You see Nightmare repositioning. Lurkers are not ready. And Lurkers know where they need to be. We dive on top of them. 3 lurkers get denied. 4 lurkers get denied. Dark caught out of position. And you can see Dark just stuck outside of his own natural. Boys, they have to be pulled. We do manage. Oh god, those are some brutal spine shots. We do take down a lot of stalkers. That was a big loss there for Nightmare. At the same time as Zelarame comes in, we deny mining at the 4th. 8 drones go down. Dark's economy not looking hot right now. It's gonna be 10 dead drones. Nightmare still maintains the Colossi, very impressive. Still has everyone alive. Rotating once again, we have some Ling harass, we have a shield battery to defend. 4th base is up and running for Nightmare. Nightmare has the better economy. And behind this is getting into Immortal production. Immortals are on the way. Prism into the main. Darky's stuck turtling back at him. Now, to be fair, Darky's up to 16 lurkers. He has a critical mass of lurkers. As long as he's able to keep up with the rotations of Nightmare, Nightmare cannot push in. Nightmare, he cannot push into 16 lurkers. That's not going to happen. At the same time, Nightmare doesn't need to push in. He's on 4 bases. Nightmare, he can take a 5th and deny the 5th base of Dark and transition to Skytoss. Skytoss would be a great transition right now from Nightmare. For now, though, we're going into a Templar Archives. This is going to be for Archon production and Storm. He is refining his ground army, but the reality is, as the lurker count gets higher and higher, we do need to force, or it should force a transition into Skytoss, into air. And Nightmare hasn't embraced that yet. He has the room for it. Like, look at the bank of Nightmare. He has the money to throw down some tech. High Templar morphing in for Archons. So Nightmare, he's playing it safe. Instead of rushing into Skytoss, we're playing it safe. We're investing into Storm, Archons. Now we throw down the Fleet Beacon. I do think this could have been faster, but it's on the way. Skytoss is on the horizon here for Nightmare. And again, Nightmare does not have to push in. It would be a mistake if he does. Ooh, as we're taking a lot of hits. Taking a lot of hits here. Nightmare, like, again, we calm down, Poppy. There's no reason to push into this. Like, look at the line of lurkers. That's not going to happen. Nightmare just has to calm things down. Back off. Take another base. Probe up. Like, Nightmare's economy is actually not amazing. He's still on 65 probes. He could get away with a higher probe count. We can see Dark trying to break out. Two more Stargates on the way. Storm is finishing. We do get the revelation off. Ooh, big spine shots. Big lurker shots there from Dark. Again, Nightmare, he's playing with fire right now. And he's backing up. Like, the problem is that Nightmare, he has to dance on the edge to deny the 5th, and he misses the 5th base. Like, all we need is a couple of Zealots. These Zealots here, if they go for the 5th base, they can force a cancel. Dark sneaking it out. Yeah, Nightmare, he's distracted. His attention is here on the left-hand side. The base, it's getting up and running. We're getting there. Nightmare being forced back. He's ready for a collapse with these Zealots. Nightmare pushing in, but again, 16 lurkers. You can't push into this. And Darky's broken out. He has broken out. He's establishing his 5th base. Yeah, bullying Nightmare back. Oof. Once again, a massive wave of lurker shots. Now we're getting to carriers. We have 3 carriers being made at a time. Zealot Rabbi is coming in. It's being cleaned up. And Dark is pushing. And there's a window. Before the carriers come out, Dark, he can try to break Nightmare. Has to be careful, though. Pushing up this ramp is brutal. Dark rotating around. Ooh, big spine shots going off. Yeah, a lot of stalkers going down. Dark, he takes a massive stace to the face. Oh, the move command. Nightmare getting caught out. Bleeds out a Colossus, bleeds out some Archons. Just has to hold on to this ramp. Mothership has arrived. Carriers have arrived. And now where's the anti-air? Massive slow zone here on the lurkers. And we're chasing Dark down. That's a lot of lurkers falling. Dark desperately trying to go for some harassment. Splits up his lurkers. Probes are going down. At the same time, a Ling Hydra counterattacking here on the left-hand side. And Dark keeps amassing Hydras. We have mass Hydra on the way. Lings, they bust into the mineral line. How many lurker kills was that? That was 24. Oh my god. That was 16 in that fight. 16 lurkers just went down. Massive trade there for Nightmare. He's still in this. He has a Sky Toss. And Dark does not have a Spire. He's not ready for Sky Toss. Not ready for this. He's stuck on Hydra Lurker Viper. Now, thankfully, there's only 3 carriers. Hydra Lurker Viper can hold its own against a low carrier count. But as the Sky Toss gets larger, we need Corruptors. And what was 3 carriers is now 6. 6 carriers are on the way. I believe the Mothership is out. Yeah, Mothership is here on the right-hand side. Dark, he's stuck turtling up back at home. Nightmare is down to 40 workers. Still no 5th base, by the way. We could have expanded earlier. We do need a 5th. Dark, he's looking for it as well. There we go. 5th Nexus now being taken by Nightmare. He is moving out. Now, I still want to favor Nightmare's army. Remember, Nightmare doesn't just have carriers. He has Storm. He has Storms. These Hydras are so vulnerable here. They're so fragile. A couple of Storms is all that Nightmare needs. Pushing in. Here come the yoinks. We get 1. We get 2. 2 carriers get yoinked. Only 1 goes down. Yeah, we get the base. Hatchery will fall. Lurkers zoning back the ground army. But a good pick off here for Nightmare. Storms on the Lurkers. And the Hydras as well. And Nightmare is getting cornered. He may have to recall. Yeah, force a recall out. We sniped 1 carrier. Ooh. Oh, Colossus even. Not a bad trade from Nightmare. Does pull back. 5th base is on the way. It's getting up and running. Dark rotating back around. Again, this game has been so tense for so long. Like, it was on a knife's edge where Dark barely held, and then Nightmare barely held. We're all barely holding on. And on top of that, we have a low economy as well. Dark is on 65 workers, Nightmare on 49, so 48. Catch an Oracle. Good pick up by Dark. At the same time, Nightmare coming in from the left-hand side, collapsing on the would-be 5th. Does force a cancel. At the same time, Changeling does scout the 5th base of Nightmare. Dark does have the supply lead, but again, he's relying on Hydras. Lurkers are going down. Big feedbacks here on the Vipers. That was 6 Lurkers falling, and a Viper as well. Good fungal on the Interceptors. Not bad. A lot of Interceptors just got shut down. Nightmare going to be rotating. Dark still trapped here, still stuck on Hydra Lurker Viper. Again, Dark doesn't really have the economy for a Spire right now, or a tech switch. He needs a better economy. He needs Nightmare to back up, really more than anything. We get a fungal on the Archons. Storm zones Dark back. Dark rebuilding. Another Storm here on the Hydras. We're making 3 more carriers. That's dangerous. We're getting up to 8 carriers. Soon we're going to hit critical. We're about to hit critical mass of carrier. And with that, we can start just attacking into Hydras. It will not matter anymore how many Hydras there are. As long as we have a good intercept account, the Nightmare will be able to push through. Dark, he's relying a lot on these infestors. We're going to have Microbial Shroud. What is it? Yeah, that's what it's called. I was second guessing myself. We're going to have Microbial Shrouds, which is okay if there aren't any storms, but we have High Templar available. If the High Templar go down, then we can Microbial Shroud. Like, unironically, we could defend here with our Hydras. Ooh, feedbacks are brutal. Every single Viper does get feedbacked. We did take down some of the High Templar, though. We only have 4 High Templar left. I believe there's only 1 High Templar with this army. Oh, wait, no, there's 4. There's 4 High Templar, but they don't have any storms. Dark could engage. As Dark, he's maxing out. Finally, Dark, he is maxing out. No storms currently here for Nightmare. We got +2 air attack on the way. We're getting into Immortal production. That will help against the Lurkers. Runback comes in. We do pick up a High Templar. Very nice pickup. High Templar goes down. We force a cancel on the Nexus. Nightmare still on 5 bases. Dark taking a 6. More Lurkers on the way. How many Hydras? 20. 20 Hydras here. I'm still concerned about the anti-air. 20 Hydras can be good enough to hold. We'll see. Infestors are exposed. Oh. We land a fungal. 1 infestor goes down. Big feedbacks here on the Vipers once again. We get a couple of yoinks off. 1 and 2 carriers go down. Big abductions. Can we get a 3rd? Barely we can. 3 carriers. Almost a 4th. Almost. Whew. Again, these Vipers are the MVPs. Even though they got feedback, they still survived. Keeping the carrier count low. Keeping it manageable. A brutal choke point as well. A lot of interceptors going to be falling. Yeah, these Hydras, they go to town on those interceptors. Again, pushing up this choke point is brutal. Like, on either side. Whether it's this choke point or this one here. Nightmare bleeds out a lot. Archon Runback gets cleaned up. Nightmare throwing away quite a bit. And his supportive army isn't really too substantial. He doesn't have any Archons. He has 2 Immortals and a handful of Storms. These carriers, they look quite exposed. Nightmare burning through his bank, bleeding out too much. You see here, that was 4 Immortals and 1 Archon. And I believe the Immortals died trying to push up this ramp. The Archon on the right-hand side. Those are some expensive losses. Dark, he's pushing out. Let's go. Does push out across the map. Does find a base. Nightmare out of position. At the same time, Dark pushing on the left-hand side as well. Nightmare, where does he go? High Templar. Massive pickoffs. We got 1, we get 2, we get 3. 4 High Templar go down. There's a 5th as well. Massive pickoffs. Yeah, we force out a storm. Storming our own probes. And that was 5 High Templar. That was brutal. There's 3 left. And without storms, there's nothing to zone Dark away. And he's done it. Dark, he's bounced back hard in this game. Who needs Corruptors? Now, to be fair, Nightmare, he did overextend a couple too many times. And didn't take full advantage of his map control earlier. And now he's found himself in an awkward position. Yeah, Hydra's on the right-hand side. We take down the Nexus. The 4 Hydra hit squad. Nexus goes down. Denying the 5th. Dark coming in once again towards the left-hand side as well. Another Ling run by. There are Zealots to defend. The Lurkers are coming in as well. And Nightmare just having a hard time keeping up. Oh, the probes. No! They're coming back! Oh my god. We do pull back in time. Thankfully, we save the workers, but the base is under fire. Nightmare rotating around. But again, Dark has remaxed. Back into his Vipers, back into his Infestors. And again, Dark, he's never engaged with the main army. He's been defending against it, but he's never looking for a fight with it. Just non-stop harassment. Hydra's once again coming in on the right-hand side, pulling Nightmare apart. And getting behind the mineral line. Dark just waiting for Nightmare to push into him. Very patient play. Now Nightmare pushing into Spores. Dark getting in position. Behind that Spore line. Big spine shots going up. We land the fungal. The army can't gain any ground. And Darky just goes for another counter attack. 28 probes go down. Leaves are pushing into the natural. We get another yoink off. Feedback a little bit too late there. Forced to recall. Nightmare, he was looking so good in this game. There were multiple times as we annihilate the mineral line, by the way. The Lings, they go ham. But Dark, he was on the edge. Nightmare was so close to bringing him down. GG gets called. The comeback is real. And Dark takes game number 1. GG. Oh my god. Very impressive play there by Dark. He was up against the wall. The carrier transition caught him off guard. The initial Colossus push straight up almost killed him. Remember, that was the moment when Dark, he lost all of his Lings. He lost like 6 of those lurkers as well. Dark, he was at death's door. But he clawed his way back in. And I mentioned before that part of that was also a Nightmare. When Nightmare was containing Dark to 4 bases, when Nightmare was ahead, that was a Nightmare he needed to expand, tech up as well. Just take advantage of the situation that Dark was in. But it did feel like Nightmare was playing a little bit scared. He was very tentative. If you remember, he opted to go into Storm and Archon production first, before the Fleet Beacon. He stayed on 3-base saturation. Took him a long time to take a 5th as well. Again, Nightmare, he was playing very unsure of himself, it felt, or a little bit concerned and scared of what Dark would do. I don't blame him. It is Dark we're talking about. And maybe that worked against Nightmare a little bit there. The mental even working against Nightmare. And with that, Dark, he claws his way back in, and here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of side Delta. We have the player leading the series 1-0, representing Talon Esports. It is Dark. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing himself, currently teamless, but deserving to be on the team. Such a close game number 1. Now he finds himself down in game number 2. Can we bounce back? It is Nightmare. Here we go. Carriers just can't win. That's a little bit reductive there. I don't think it was the carriers that lost Nightmare that game, but it was other things just announcing there against Nightmare. Again, his economy was a big one. His economy, his tech transition. If you remember, there was also that moment as well when Nightmare missed the 5th. Even though he had map control, Dark, he snuck out with the drone. He got his 5th base. Nightmare definitely could have, if he had known it was there, he 100% could have denied it, could have contained Dark even longer to 4 bases. But Nightmare did miss it in the end. There's a lot that came into that game. But here we go, Dark once again going for the hatch block. As a reminder, Dark, he's getting into his hatch gas follow-up into a delayed spawning pool. Dark is droning. This is a way to disrupt the opener. This is very similar to a Protoss player going for a pylon block at the start of the game. Very similar concept here or even, I should say, this is probably closer to an eBay block that a Terran goes for against Protoss, where you go for an eBay block and you delay the expansion, you force probes off the mineral line, force out a Zealot as well. And Dark should be canceling this and getting away with that drift. As we do disrupt the economy. There's that cancel. Drone is going to be slipping into the main. If we can, we're going to try and gas steal as well. If we can. But the probe is on hold position. Up! As I say that, The probe was not on hold position, by the way, and we get the gas steal. Aye, that is annoying. Usually, the way to counter a gas steal is to take your gases at your natural, but the natural's delayed. We have to focus on the gas. Oof. So a big moment there for Dark. Dark, he cancels. He can restart it. Oh, we barely don't. No, and the drone gets away. That was a big commitment, a lot of lost mining time. The drone finally goes down, but that is a lot of damage dealt early on by one drone. Aye. That's a late expansion, that's late gases, that's a lot of lost mining time as well from the drone pool, from the earlier drone pool as well, forcing out the zealots. It all adds up. Good start here for Dark. And now we're settling into our game, and I do like this from Nightmare. It's a robo. This could lead into a 2-base all-in. It's going to be a robo opener. Now, this could be one of many things. This could just be, if this was a standard game, I would assume this would be a disruptor opener. Disruptors into a disruptor drop. That's what would make sense. But recently, players like Hero, players like Classic, they've been very fond of immortal 2-base slow lot all-ins. So I'm curious what is going to be done with this. If we go for the Bay or not. Do we go for the Immortals of the Bay? And there it is. We have the Bay on the way, so it is going to be a disruptor drop. Okay. Whew. We're not going for an all-in. Now, this opener is very risky for Nightmare. With a disruptor-based play like this, you don't have much map control. You don't have much of a map presence. Ooh, especially with the Adepts getting caught out. Oh, that's a rough start here for Nightmare. He's going to have a hard time expanding. Again, we needed those Adepts to expand and take a third base. Forcing another warp in. Dark keeping tabs on Nightmare. Dark behind this, going to be joining up. We have a safety Roach Warren on the way. That was around a 4-minute 30 Roach Warren timing. Getting to our Roach Warren. Dark behind this. Again, destroying, making a safety amount of Lings. Now, Dark doesn't know if this is Glaive Adepts. To be fair, he doesn't know if it's Glaive Adepts or DTs. Adepts have been revealed. Dark is getting ready back at home. Spores are on the way. We have a Spore at the third. No Spore at the natural. Going for an Evo Chamber. Here comes that War Prison Speed. And that Disruptor drop, it's coming. Is on the way. It's going to be on the way. Ling still just applying pressure to the third base. They confirmed the third as well, so Dark knows it's not a 2-base all-in, which means Dark can drone. And there we go. We have 8 drones in production, taking extra gases. Colossus production has commenced for the counterattack, and here comes that drop. Prism is spotted. We do notice that the Prism is faster than normal, so we should recognize that it is going to be Disruptors. Show us the Novas. Good Spore positioning. We zone away the Prism. It does take some hull damage. Nova's going to be going off, going for the Queen. Queen goes down. It does go down. The Prism, no! As the Prism goes past the Queens, and that's 2 Disruptors going down for 1 Queen. A big distraction here with the Ling run by, and that is brutal. That was not meant to happen. And with that, that is 2 Disruptors down the drain, the Prism down the drain as well for 1 Queen. This is a brutal start here for Nightmare. And now Nightmare, he's stuck at home, and he's behind. He is behind. Again, this is the risk you take when you go for a Disruptor drop opener. Nightmare distracted at the wrong moment, and again, all his eggs, all his Disruptors, they were all in the same basket, Papi, and oh boy. This is a rough start. Dark, he's double expanding. He's free to double expand, taking a 4th, taking a 5th base as well. He's freely droning. We have a Bailey Nest on the way. It's going to be Ling Bane, Roach Ravager. Solid army composition here from Dark. And Dark is going to be the first to max out. And Nightmare has no presence. Blink is halfway done. Without Blink, we can't really push out. Prism is on the way. Prism is being rebuilt. Nightmare, he's lost any kind of map control, and Yeah, Dark, he's just free to do whatever he wants right now. It's ay. If Dark wanted to, we could drone up to 80. We can see that Dark, he's stopping at full base production. Sorry, full base saturation. 71 drones, or just under full base saturation. 71 drones, and Dark, he's looking to just max out on Lingbane Roach Ravager. You can see Nightmare going for a Colossus drop. And again, he has to do something here. Oh, the Observer goes down. And with that, Nightmare has to back off. Does have Blink, at least. And we're just waiting for Dark to amass his army. Waiting for the army to amass. Again, the 4th base only being used for Larva. No saturation yet. I should say the 5th base only being used for Larva. No saturation. As again, here come the Banelings, here come the Ravagers. Dark, he's at 180 army supply. As we mentioned, Dark, he's about to max out. As Nightmare's 4th is cancelled. Here comes Dark. We're going to surround this army. He's got Lingbane from behind. His Roach Ravager from the front. We have 1 Disruptor. So we have a Nova to work with. We have 1 Colossus. Sorry, 2 Disruptors. 2 Disruptors to work with. Lingbane is rolling forward. Nova goes up. Good connection. Good connection on the Roach's Lings. They come in from behind as well. We have the overcharged Banelings. They go for the army. And they crash in. Ignoring the army. Going for the mineral line instead. Probes are going down. 21 workers fall. And the Colossus is exposed. Yeah, we start a step forward. We focus it down. And Nightmare has nothing left. GG gets called. Dark will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG. A rough game number 2 there from Nightmare. But what I will say, if you maybe tune in towards the tail end of the series, I highly recommend watching Game 1. Because Game 1 was very close. Game 1 was very back and forth. It was very dynamic between both Nightmare and Dark. I was very impressed with Nightmare in game number 1. Game number 2, Nightmare just stumbled out the gate with the delayed Nexus, with the gas steal, with the mineral loss, or with the mining time loss as well. And on top of that, with the opener falling on its face and with the Prism getting sniped, it was just a rough game there all around for Nightmare. Was a rough game, but game 1 was beautiful. it was a lot more dynamic, and it was a great game. It was a great game 1. With that, GG, well played. Congratulations to Dark. He advances on to the grand finals. The predictions are going to get paid out, and we are getting ready for our next series. We're getting ready for the grand finals. Oh my god, the bracket progressing very quickly here. !B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. I was not expecting this. If you remember, Hero versus Classic hadn't even begun when we started our series, and Hero versus Classic has already concluded. Here. Catching up, Hero did 2-0 Classic. That must have been like a 10-minute series. Like, oh my god, that was a very fast series between Hero and Classic. That was casted by Dave Testa and Chicken Man, by the way, so if you want to tune in, if you want to check out the VODs, they casted that series. Remember, we started our semifinals before they started theirs. But I guess our series was quite long, to be fair. And now we have the grand finals. We have the grand finals ready for us. It's going to be a ZVP between Hero and Dark. Let's go. Let us go. And if you're in the chat, predictions will soon be open. Getting ready with those predictions. Un momento here. One moment. And this is going to be a banger of a series. Now, for those who are maybe unaware, Hero has the edge over Dark. Hero, he has won the most amount of Korean StarCraft leagues out of any other player in the world. He has the most wins under his belt, and he has a winning record against Dark. But when I say he has like the edge over him, or he has the winning record, it's like like it's like 60-40 sort of thing, you know. It's like a slight lead. They still go back and forth. I do not expect this to be one-sided. I don't expect this to be a 3-0. And to be fair as well, I believe they faced off recently in ESL Open Cup Asia less than a week ago, and Dark did defeat Hero. Dark did 2-0 Hero a couple of days ago in ESL Open Cup Asia, so it goes to show that they are back and forth. This is going to be a tough one to predict. I don't fault anyone for betting on either Dark or Hero. I think there's a good argument for either one. It's all about who is on fire, who is on point on the day. That's usually what it comes down to, you know, who's well rested, who's well fed, you know, who's able to focus and be that much more on point. Who is going to be the stronger player this week? We're here to find out. We are here to find out. Looks like we do have our vetoes. Let's have a look here. Golden Aura getting vetoed. Dynasty as well. And as we get ready for the grand finals, we're going to be going on a very short break. It's going to be very short, like a minute or so. When we return, the grand finals will be here. Take this moment to hydrate, search riches, massage your marines. We'll be back soon with that best of 5. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OST as we have returned with the grand finals of the Korean StarCraft League, week number 49. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you believe is going to be this week's champion. Will it be our Zerg or will it be our Protoss? Best of luck in those predictions. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Site Delta, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Dragon KaiZ Gaming, DKZ. It is Hero. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Talon Esports. It is Dark. Dark, the best Zerg player in all of South Korea, one of the best Zerg players in the world, up against the best Protoss player in the world, Hero. He's had an amazing year so far in GSL, at IEM, at Masters Coliseum. Has been on fire. These two, I would say, are quite close in skill. Whenever they do clash, it's a banger. It's always a great series. Let's go. Has a lot to live up to, but I want to believe that it will live up to it. Live up to the hype. As for now, hatch gas pool. Standard opener out of Dark. No crazy hatch block, no disruption of the economy like we saw against Nightmare. Dark going for a standard opener, respecting Hero and being aware that he won't quite get away with that against a player like Hero. So standard opener here from our Zerg player. Hero going for a gate expand into the Cyber Core as well. Going for his own standard opener as we're easing our way into Site Delta. As a reminder, this is going to be a best of 5, not a best of 3, so it is going to be a longer series here. Overall, it is going to be a longer series. We can sink our teeth into it. Gibbs. So now we're going to be able to drone up and ease our way in. There's no sign of aggression yet. There's no earlier gases. There's no earlier tech from either player. Cybercore is done, and we do skip Warp Gates. Upon skipping Warp Gate, Dark does confirm this, and Hero is going for a Stargate opener. And again, Dark can infer that based on the delayed Warp Gates. So good scouting there by Dark. Hero opening up with a standard opener. Now this can lead a couple of different ways. This can go into an Oracle-based opener, Void Ray or Phoenix. Oracle's a lot more commonplace. Oracles lead into a third base. You're able to establish, gain map control, get some scouting information, get into a third, and get into the mid game. We could also go for something like a Void Ray or a Phoenix. They are designed to shut down Overlords, to deny scouting, and to keep the Zerg player in the dark and catch them off guard. And we'll see what we go into. As there it is, Void Ray opener. We just mentioned it. The power of a Void Ray or a Phoenix-based opener is to shut down the Overlord, is to keep Dark in the dark, no pun intended, and to try to catch him off guard with the follow-up here. This does mean that Dark's middle line is going to be safe. There's no harassing it, not yet. Hero can go for an Oracle after the Void Ray, but it's going to be, of course, delayed. And we'll see where Hero takes this. This could lead into a second Stargate, it can lead into a Skytoss Rush, it could lead into a Twilight Council with a charge-based all-in or Glaive Adepts, it could just lead into a third base and into a Forge with Twilight Council, it could just be a standard game at a Hero. Dark just doesn't know, as the Overlord goes down. There's that Nexus on the way. The Void Ray gonna try and hunt down another Overlord, as Dark is pulling back. Overlords are turning back around. There's one Overlord on the right-hand side that's exposed. Twilight Council's on the way. And there is the Forge. Okay, so this should be +1 and Blink or +1 and Charge. Either or can work. Either Blink Stalkers or Charge Lots. Void Ray dips in. Dips the hell out. Queens are in position. The Oracle coming in from the right-hand side. You can see the Void Ray dragging the Queens towards the left-hand side, creating an opening here for the Oracle. But we have another Queen lying in wait. Hero is forced back. So far, so good here from Dark. Dark, interesting. Not going for a safety Roach Warren. Bold move here by Dark. Going for a Lair first instead. Going for the Lair. There's +1 and Blink on the way. Gateway Explosion behind this. Third base is getting saturated or getting up and running. And we can see Dark, he avoids the Roach Warren entirely with going into Banelings. It's going to be Ling Bane here out of Dark. Lair is finishing up. This was a fast Lair, and I'm curious if we're going into something like Overlord Speed. Who needs Overlord Speed for Drop Lords when you have a Nidus? It's going to be a Link Queen Nidus all in, or a Link Bane Queen Nidus all in from Dark. Cutting workers here at 48. Again, I was suspicious of the fast Lair. Part of me was thinking it was going to be a Drop Lord based all in, but it's going to be Nidus instead. And Hero has yet to confirm. Now, Hero, he did see the fast Lair. That is a tell. That is a tell that something is amiss, something is wrong. We have shield batteries on the way. But Hero has yet to confirm exactly what's happening. Yeah, Lings are amassing. Again, Dark is going all in. And there is no shield battery at the natural, only at the third. The natural is exposed. Oracle dips in. Gets a revelation off, gets eyes on the Baneliness, and do we get eyes on the Nidus? Oh, we do! We spot the Nidus form. Speaking of, Nidus is already on the way. Hero forced to warp in. Blink is going to finish up. Blink is done. Blink is done. Nidus form does complete. Nidus into the main as well. He's forcing back the army. Baling's going towards that natural. Again, there's no shield battery. No shield battery. We do pick off a queen. Oh, barely we don't. And Lings, they bust into the natural. Oracle does send the way. Oracle goes down. And the Balings, they waddle in. Up. They waddle in. They take down the shield battery. Overcharge is denied. Now with Blink, Hero can kite back, and he's kiting quite well. Going for the Nidus, denies it. He also denies the Nidus worm in the main. Good defense so far. We're running out of Lings. And Hero, he's forcing this back again. Surprising, he only lost 4 probes at the third base. A very solid defense here from Hero. Shuts down the Lings, shuts down the Banelings. But he barely cannot push through those queens. Lings are breaking through. Oh god, those were clutch blinks. Very clutch there from Hero. It's being forced back. That is where it finishes up in the natural base. But we're running out of Lings once again. Hero collapsing on those queens. GG gets called. Dark runs out of steam. And Hero holds. Hero takes game number 1. GG. A very impressive defense there from Hero. Does manage to defend. Didn't even have a shield battery at the natural. But because he rushed into Blink, he had some amazing Blink control there. Kiting all the way back. Trading so well against those Lings. The queens were having a hard time engaging. Hero did have some miscontrol with his Oracle and with his Void Ray. Did lose his Oracle and Void Ray a little bit early on. But despite that, solid defense, solid control there overall. Very well done. GG. GG, well played. Hero does take a lead in the series, and now we're getting into game number 2. Bearing in mind that this was also a very late scout from Hero as well. Took him a long time to get a read on what was happening. Thankfully, again, he was rushing into Blink the way that he did with his initial build. And now we're getting into game 2. Interesting map here. Game 2 going to be on Ghost River. Oh boy, this is going to be a short series. I can already tell. Ghost River, known for all-ins, known for the short rush distance that it takes to get from base to base. The shortest rush distance map in the map pool. Here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ghost River. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Dragon Kai Z Gaming, DKZ. It is Hero. Leading the series 1-0 and spawning in the top left-hand corner. We have as opponent, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg, representing Talon Esports. Down in this series, but it's a best of 5. Plenty of games here to bounce back. It is Dark. Here we go. Probe is going to be moving out here from Hero. Dark going for a hatch first. Hatch first opener here from Dark. Hatch gas pool, I imagine. Nothing crazy to begin with. No early gases, no early sporting pool, and Hero needs to confirm. Does dip in, does confirm. But there's no aggressive build yet from Dark. Now again, from base to base, it's 31 seconds. From natural to natural, again, even shorter than that. Doesn't take long at all to get across the map, and We'll see what our plan is going to be here. Aggression is going to be favored for both players, both Dark and Hero. I would not be surprised if Hero goes for a Twilight Council opener, or even a Robo opener as well. Not be surprising. Likewise, Dark can also go for an early Rotoran as well. We'll see. We shall see. So now we're just getting into our openers. Getting into our game. Pylon thrown down here further back in the mineral line. And we'll see what kind of tech Hero is going to be working with. That's going to be the first tell. Whether we go for a Stargate, Twilight Council, or Robo. Cybercore is finishing up. What does Hero have to offer? As there it is. Once again, we skip Warp Gate, or we delay Warp Gates. We throw down our tech. It's going to be a Stargate in the main. We do have our Stargate opener in the main base. Ling gets across the map. Oh, sorry, Probe gets across the map. Third base is being taken. Ling's going to be forcing Hero back. And we could go Void Ray once again. I would not be opposed to a Void Ray opener 2 games in a row. This is what Classic was doing a lot last year, is just non-stop Void Ray openers and just doing something different every single game. And it worked quite well for Classic. Just to make the game look like the previous and go for something completely different. But we'll see, as it's going to be an Oracle first, not a Void Ray for Hero. Okay. So far, a standard opener from Hero. Moving out with his depth. Trying to catch any stray Lings, any stray units. Likewise, Dark droning up, getting his third base. No sign of aggression either. Ling speed is on the way. We're easing our way into our 3-base setup. Nothing major yet. Really, I'm going to keep my eye on the 3-base saturation of Dark to see if he does drone up again. If he goes for a fast lair like the previous game. Something like a Nidus-based all-in, or even a Queen-based all-in with Dropper Lords. We have seen quite a lot of on this map. I'm sure Hero is also kind of ticking them off in his mind. Overlord's going to be zoned away. He's actually going to go down to the Stalker. Big pick-off here. Overlord goes down. We have a follow-up. Twilight Council's on the way. We should be seeing a Forge alongside this for Hero. Interesting. Wait, did we cut Oracles? We did. Okay, so it's going to be a double Oracle opener, which is why we can afford an earlier Twilight Council. We didn't go up to 3 Oracles. Did you slip in? Oh! Oh, good target firing. It looks like we do flank the Oracle. 1 goes down. Big pick off here for Dark. Once again, fast lair. That's a fast lair. This could be another Nidus-based all-in. This could be Dropper Lords. We could rush into, yeah, Bailey Nest here. No Roach Warren. This does look familiar. But back at home, early blink from Hero. No Forge either. This looks like this could just be a 3-base all-in. Oh. Oh, wait, no, my apologies. I missed the Forge. There it is. +1 is on the way. There's that Gateway Explosion. But again, blink is earlier than normal because we only made 2 Oracles. That's going to be 6 gates in total for Hero. Meanwhile, Dark is droning, waiting for his lair to finish up. Queens are amassing. How many queens do we have? 6 queens so far. +1 at melee's on the way. Are we just going to be rushing into an infestation pit? On Ghost River? Oh, that's going to be interesting. Let's say Threaten the Shade. Dark massing up Lings. Yeah, we're rushing into an infestation pit. So, if you're curious, this build from Dark is Ling Bane into Ultra. So that's why we had the fast lair. Fast lair for fast infestation pit, for fast hive tech, for fast ultras. So it's all coming together. Typically, Dark does this on larger maps, on much larger maps, because you can get away with taking up in such a fashion. But I feel like Dark is about to be punished because Hero is going for a 3-base all-in. It's going to be 8 gates. So it's going to be a 3-base 8-gate all-in from Hero. And it's going to hit like a truck. And Dark has no roaches to defend. Only Lingbane Queen. Dark is in trouble. He is in quite a bit of trouble here. Hero pushing forward. Infestors are on the way. Hive is on the way again for that Ultra Cavern for Adrenal. So bold move to rush into Hive. The Infestors will help. They will have one Fungal Leech. At the same time, Link counterattack Hero adds to the third, but Hero does warp in defensively. It does protect that third. Link's collapsing on the army, but this choke point is brutal. There's no pushing down this ramp. Hero does lose 8 probes though. Ooh, that was a lot of damage. There's a lot of probes going down. Hero being forced back. Infestors are out. Fungal is available. Can Dark hold? It's gonna be close. Oh! Ooh, we dodged the Fungal. Whew. That was a clutch blink there from Hero. We have one Fungal left. And it's gonna connect. Not at all. We dodged it again. We dodged both Fungals. We clean up the Lings. And Hero, he's pushing through. A wave of reinforcements are on the way. Dark in a lot of trouble. Has to pull back. Has to pull back. Lings, we're running out of steam. We're running out of Lings. We do come in from behind, but yeah, there's just not enough. GG gets called. Dark caught with his pants down, and Hero takes a 2-0 lead. GG. A very crazy build there out of Dark. I mentioned before, this build Dark is very fond of in this matchup, to rush into the Infestation bit, to rush into the Ultras, into the Hive Tech. And again, it works wonders on larger maps like Alcyone, or larger maps like Site Delta, for example, just because you have more room to breathe and your Lings give you a lot of map control as well, and you're able to get away with taking up like that. On a small map like Ghost River, where all-ins are favored, and of course, Hero did go for a 3-base all-in, and it directly punished and countered the greed of Dark. Dark caught with his pants down. Again, no Roach Warren, no higher form of tech, just only Ling Bane. The Infestors were the saving grace. The Infestors were the only way for Dark to defend. But we just avoid the Fungals. We just blink away. Very impressive. You don't see it too often, dodging Fungal growths like that. GG, and with that, Hero is one game away from becoming this week's champion. One more game is all he needs. And we're loading in to Oceanborn. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing Dragon Kai Z Gaming, the KZ. Leading the series 2-0. Onomas, one more is all he needs to be our champion this week. It is Hero. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg representing Talon Esports. Dark, the pressure is on. He has to fight back here and now to have a chance at even forcing the ace match. It is Dark. And that last game was kind of a build order win for Hero. I mean, there's a lot that came into it when it came to the decision making and what the map did favor as well on Ghost River specifically, and it made sense for Hero to rush into a 3-base all-in, bearing in mind that Hero's 3-base all-in last game hit harder than normal because he only went 2 Oracles, so there was a much faster and much stronger blink timing from Hero. So that did of course work in his favor. Likewise, again, Dark rushing to Hive like that. Crazy maneuver. Didn't work out in the end. Now he's up against the wall. Now Dark is up against the wall, and how do we bounce back on Oceanborn? Now, Oceanborn is also known for aggression, is known for more 3-base all-ins or 2.5-base all-ins. Specifically, this 3rd base is a little bit more exposed. What I will say though, after game number 1 on Site Delta, I'm not too confident in all-inning Hero. As commonplace as all-ins are on this map, as often as we see them here on Oceanborn, and despite how exposed this 3rd base may be, I mean, I don't think it's the wise of choices here against Hero, especially if he's going Blink again. Especially if he's rushing to a faster Twilight Council. After the Stargate, of course. But we'll see. We shall see. From the side of Hero, I would like to see another Stargate opener into Blink, to be honest. I think it's really smart against Dark. As here we go, Stargate is on the way. For those that are curious, every game it's been a variation of Stargate opener into Fast Blink. In game number 1, remember, it was a Void Ray into a Twilight Council and Forge off of 1 Oracle. In game number 2, it was double Oracle into a faster Forge and Twilight Council as well, as the 3rd base was building. I'm pointing this out because this is just a little bit crisper and faster than we would see in a standard game. Oh, as Dark, he gets pylon blocked. Forced to take the unnatural third, the linear third base. Oh, this is a rough start for Dark. So Dark, he doesn't want to delay his third. Because of the pylon block, he's forced to expand here towards the south. It's a very exposed base. It's wide open here to the elements on the low ground. There's some high ground right next to it as well that you can take advantage of with a reinforcement point, with pushes. So it's going to be difficult to defend this base. And Hero might be prompted to go for his own 3-base all-in again. It would make sense. We'll see. We'll see how this all comes together here. From the side of Dark, I would like to see Roach Warren at around 4 minutes. Or not even 4 minutes, sorry, but at a much more standard timing. We have not gone for a Roach Warren at all. And speaking of a standard timing, this is not a standard timing. 3-minute 40 Roach Warren. Uh-oh. I did want to see a Roach Warren, but this is for an early push. This is for a more aggressive build from Dark. Again, a Roach Warren sub 4 minutes is not for safety. The base is on the way. We're going to be droning up. And I'm curious, when do we stop drone production? That's what I'm curious about, as oracles are moving out. And again, because it's a Stargate opener, this early Roach Warren doesn't achieve anything defensively, I mean. And there we go, roaches are amassing as we speak. We're cutting drones at 36. It's looking like a 2-base all-in. We're cutting workers here at sub 2-base saturation, by the way. Only 12 drones in the mineral line. We're amassing Lings, Queens, and we're pushing. We're going for an all-in. We spoke about it. Oceanborn does lend towards this. You know, it does favor this kind of style. The reason for this is because the 3rd base is on the same point of elevation as this area here. So there's no, like, high ground advantage. And we're pushing. It's all or nothing for Dark. Hero, once again, did go double Oracle into a faster Blink. So Blink is on the way, +1 is on the way, Gateway Explosion as well. Can Dark break the 3rd? And we need to at least kill the 3rd base. At least. Here we go, the Lings have arrived. We get a surround, we force a recall. And Hero up. Ooh, does end up leading out a Stalker. Good pick off. The 3rd base is going to go down. A good start for Dark. But Dark needs more than just a 3rd. He needs to break the natural. Shield batteries are on the way. Again, this was a late scout, a late realization from Hero. The Oracles are still across the map. We need to come back home. Yeah, the Oracles, they come in, but there's no saturation. There's no drones to kill. We head towards the natural. But again, there's a Spore Crawler. And Dark is pushing in. He's trying to break through. Shield battery goes down. Overcharge was spent. Another shield battery is going to get filed. Good pickups here from Dark, and he breaks through. Breaking to natural clutch force field, but once again the Biles, they bring down the force field. And Dark, has he finally done it? Are we going to bring this back in this series? Boys are being pulled. Blink is still not done. Probes are going down. We cleared out 5 workers. Gateways are depowered. We are able to focus down the Queens. As we pick up the Cyber Core. Ooh. Forcing a cancel. Quick moves over to Hero. Hero looks like he's holding on. Does Blink back, focuses down every single Ravager. And again, Hero, he is barely holding, but the Stalkers are falling one after the other. We're bleeding out too many Stalkers. And where are the reinforcements? Where are the gateways? Where's the Warpin? Hero going for some Zealots. And with us around, Hero will clean this up. Now, what's scary here is that Hero's up in probes. I spoke earlier how killing the 3rd base was not good enough. Dark had to kill Hero or cripple him. Hero's on 44 probes, Dark is on 32 drones. So Hero, he's ahead economically. Did lose a Cyber Core, which is big. The Cyber Core is going to slow down the counterattack. So Dark has some time. Sniping the Cyber Core is keeping Dark in this and giving him time to recover. Dark is amassing Ling Roach. Burrow's on the way. I do like that. A good way to counteract the fact that there's no detection. I mean, I guess it's an Oracle. Ling Roach moving out once again. Hero getting called out. Forced to blink. Zelta here in position. As Dark is going for a second wave. But more Stalkers are on the way. Yeah, Dark, he cannot commit. Does get 1 Stalker, but bleeds out Roaches. Bleeds out a lot of Roaches here. Yeah, here he has momentum. He dives on the army, and he's going to clean this up. Every roach goes down. That was 9 roaches for 3 stalkers. That was a better trade for Hero. And Dark, he's still all in, by the way. Dark, he still refuses to drone up his third. No droning, no saturation. He's on 42 workers. Hero exceeding that economy on 50 probes. Now, this is a bit of a Hail Mary play out of Dark. Dark is going for Tunneling Claws. Tunneling Claw roaches on the way. And again, there's no Robo, I believe. Yeah, there's no Robo here from Hero, so no Observer, no detection. Other than the Observer. Or I should say, other than the Oracle, I meant to say. You can see Hero is checking for saturation. He does see a couple of drones at the third. That tells him it's okay to probe up. Saturating his base. Getting into Storm. Burrow is revealed. A little bit premature. Burrow is revealed, and that should trigger another Oracle. It should trigger a Robo. We snipe a High Templar. Big pickup. Roaches, they reveal themselves once again. Getting a lot of probes. 5, 6 probes go down. And Roaches, they do burrow in, or they do waddle in towards the main base. There it is. Another Oracle's on the way. No Robo yet. Hero, he's relying on Revelations. And Dark, he's already done a good amount of damage. Like, killing 8 probes has allowed Dark to catch up. He's still behind, don't get me wrong, but Dark, he's closing that gap. As Hero, he has an army in every mineral line. Forcing out Revelations. Robo's now on the way. Cannon is in position as well. A good cannon placement. And the cannon is on the way in the main base, but yeah, we have Zealots as well. Hero is holding. And behind this, Dark, he's trying to saturate his bases. He's going into a Hydra net. Hydras are on the way. So Roach Hydra into, I imagine, Roach Hydra Lurker. That's going to be the goal for Dark. Is going to be the goal. Yo, shout out to Jadolf in the chat. The first quacker of the stream. 2 hours in. Quack, puppy, quack. Do you have any of those? The first person in the stream. Welcome, welcome. so quick, puppy. So quick. As we do have our Robo here on the way. That's going to be double Robo production for double Colossus into double Disruptor. So Hero, he's just stabilizing and massing up here on his 4-base setup. Roaches have arrived. They're looking for a cancel. They're hoping for a cancel on the base, but yeah, Hero's in position. Does force this back. Big pickups. I didn't think... It's all good. It's all good. No one is faster than Jadolf. 2 hours late? Nah, just in time. Let's go. Jada, he's always reliable, you know, with his mech. Always. As behind this, interesting, we're going for Disruptors first, not Colossi. Bear that in mind. So a little bit risky from Hero to prioritize Disruptors instead. But he should be able to get away with it because Dark is busy droning. Oh my god, the trap. Almost gets the War Prism. But again, Dark is still recovering, so Hero can cut some corners. And we're working on +3 attack. Jesus, +3 against the +2 of Dark. Additional upgrades on the way. Gateway Explosion. Oracle's keeping tabs here on the 4th. I guess the 3rd. And Dark hasn't gone into a Hive Tech or an Infestation Bit yet. For now, it's just purely Roach Hydra. A very old school composition, but here comes Hero. He's maxed out with Storm. He has Storm, he has Disruptors, no Colossi. We're relying a lot here on these Purification Novas. And they're going to be going up. Novas, they do fan out. Zoning back the army, no connections. The Hydra's coming in for a full surround. And Hero overextends. The Concave was too good. better Nova here towards the end. But Hero, he is forced back. Ooh, bleeding out some Archons, bleeding out some Stalkers. Good defense by Dark. Whew. Again, he had the concave, he had the better engage overall. But Hero going for another warp in, and he's pushing in once again. Disruptors have reset. 3 Novas. Once again, no connection. Oh, getting 1 Hydra. Getting 3 in total. Not the best connections, as we do focus on one of the Disruptors. Again, this is the risk that you take here with Disruptors instead of Colossi. But the Roaches are running out, so it's only Hydra. Only Hydra's main. Also, my apologies, I was talking about Storm. I thought that we had Storm, I guess not. I was just seeing things, apparently. Am I crazy? I thought we had Storm in production. Yeah, I was just getting ahead of myself. So no Storms, only Disruptors. And Archons, of course. Dark once again with the concave. Good spread of Hydras. Almost gets an Archon. And again, pushing into this concave is just so difficult here for Hero. Better connections, though. Better connections from Hero. Still just amassing pure Disruptor. How many do we have? 6. 6 Disruptors available. 6 Purification Novas. We dive on the Hydras. Novas going off, stoning the Hydras back. The Hero brute forcing his way through, trading out a lot of Stalkers. But it looks like he may just have enough. It's a numbers game here. And Hero's breaking through. GG gets called. He overwhelms, and Hero will take game number 3 and the series 3-0, becoming this week's KSL champion. GG. GG, well played. A dominant performance here out of Hero. To be fair, this game 3 was very close. Dark, he was so close to breaking Hero. He shut down the 3rd base, but remember, we spoke about it. The 3rd didn't really matter. Dark needed more than just a 3rd. He broke into the natural, he got the cyber core, but Hero, he was so meticulous with his blink control. I was so impressed by how he was able to take as much damage as possible while blinking away, preserving his Stalkers, able to defend, able to preserve his workers. And even though Hero lost a lot in that defense, he was still ahead. It was still not enough for Dark to cripple Hero, and Hero was able to stabilize from there. GG, well played. Likewise, we just saw some hyper aggression from everyone this series. Dark also went for a failed all-in in game 1, and as a reminder, in game 2, it was Hero's turn to go all-in. It was on Ghost River where Hero went for a 3-base all-in, and Dark was trying to rush into Ultras and was caught with his pants down. GG. GG, well played, very impressive series here out of Hero. No standard macro games between these 2 players, but we never expect that. We never expect that. It's always chaos. It's always chaos and all-ins and aggression whenever these 2 face off. Is beautiful. They're animals, Papi. They're animals. And we love them for it. GG. GG, well played. And with that, a shout out to those that had faith as well. It was 97% in favor of Hero. It makes sense. Again, Hero is usually favored against Dark, usually, not always. And to be fair, I was expecting a more dynamic series. I was expecting, you know, a 3-1 or an ace match between these 2. Very impressive here for Hero to come out with the 3-0. GG, well played. Congratulations. And with that, we are going to be wrapping up for now. Emphasis on the for now. We do have another broadcast in a couple of hours. Checking out our calendar here, it is going to be in 7 hours time. That's quite a while, but in 7 hours time, this channel is going to be live once again, not with KSL, but with WTL, World Team League. We had day 1 of World Team League last night, and tonight we have day number 2. Day number 2, and who's competing tonight? Let me just double check. Who is competing? I'm a little bit under the weather. Let me just see here. Okay, from the top. So tonight is going to be Team Liquid versus Psystorm Na'Vi. For those who don't know, Psystorm Gaming and Na'Vi did join forces for WTL. This means that the lineup for Psystorm Na'Vi is Geralt, MaxPax, and Spirit. By the way, a pretty hefty team. If you remember, last season when Spirit got picked up by Na'Vi, that was a big blow to Psystorm Gaming. If you remember, Spirit was on Psystorm before that, and for him to be taken away mid-season, that was a big blow, and Psystorm did struggle because of that. Sure, they have MaxPax and Geralt, but their third was a weak point for their team, so now they're pretty well-rounded. They're going up against Team Liquid tonight, against Cure, Alazer, and Skillus. Interesting. So in that series, there's no Clem. Clem is not being fielded. Clem, I imagine if he's not being fielded, is unavailable. Otherwise, they would be fielding him. It's possible that maybe Clem is busy with EPT. If he's playing early on tomorrow in EPT Spring, in the regionals, in the European regionals, then that could be why. Otherwise, he could just not be available. And we also have Starlight Twinkle versus Basilisk plus Big. Talking about joint teams and joint ventures, Basilisk, likewise, they also had a bit of a weaker link there when it came to their lineup, but Showtime is going to be coming in. Showtime is on Berlin International Gaming, BIG. So Showtime is going to be joining the forces of Trigger, of Raynor, and Cyril as well. That's a team, Bobby. That's a hefty team. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting lineup there tonight, and I do look forward to it. Again, 6 hours and 40 minutes. In 6 hours and 40 minutes, we're going to be live on the channel once again. Depending on where you are in the world, you know, get some rest, you know, take a nap, get some sleep, and wake up in time for some more StarCraft. I promise you, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a great night of StarCraft. Here we go. But yeah, with that, thank you so much everyone for watching. Thank you so much everyone for the support. We do appreciate it. I'm going to take this moment to get some food, to get some rest as well. I may have a nap before the cast, especially because it's in 6 hours. I want to make sure that I'm well rested and awake for the cast tonight. And as a reminder, WTL is back. WTL Code S. It's 3 days a week. 3 days a week, every single week for the next 11 weeks. We have some World Team League action and some Kung Fu Cup action as well. So a lot of StarCraft going on. Look forward to it. With that though, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Not too sure who, but we'll find someone to raid. Un momento here. Who's live right now? Who is live? Sort of just went live. I mean now we have to. Now we have to raid, sort of, right? Ay. Who else is live? I see Madmelo. I know that the other casters are going to be going offline. I'm talking about Dave. I'm talking about Steadfast. Chicken Man as well. Who else do we have? Yeah, sort of comes to mind. I would not be surprised if other people are going to be raiding sort of as well. We're all coming together here. Yeah, but they just did. They just did raid him. We'll find someone. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. If you want, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord. We do stream on YouTube as well. Shout out to all the people that were dropping by in the YouTube chat as well. And our VODs are available immediately on the live tab on our YouTube channel. So, exclamation mark, YouTube in the chat. Socials as well. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for the support. We'll see you guys in 6 hours. Until then, hasta luego. Ciao. Papi, ciao. Hasta luego.